This is Jarrod Horak. They just ran the 150th Kentucky Derby. In this video, I'm going to go back and look at the results of that race. I'm going to look ahead to the Preakness in Belmont, and I'm going to give out some early predictions for those races. Now, in the Kentucky Derby, we had a 3-horse thrilling photo finish at the wire between Mystik Dan, Sierra Leone, and from Japan, Forever Young. And it was Mystik Dan on the inside. He had the lead in the stretch, and Sierra Leone and Forever Young were bearing down on him. And in the photo finish, Mystik Dan on the inside was able to win by a nose. Now, he paid $39 to win. Trainer Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez Jr. was aboard, the same combination that brought home Torpedo Anna in Friday's Kentucky Oaks. So an excellent weekend for trainer Kenny McPeak. Outstanding training job winning the Kentucky Oaks with Torpedo Anna, Kentucky Derby with Mystik Dan. Same with Brian Hernandez Jr. Great rides for both of those horses. He got Torpedo Anna right out in front, and she was plenty ready to run a big race. And the same thing with Mystik Dan. He was able to save ground in a good spot, kind of the same thing that he did in the Southwest Stakes when he ran away with that race. And he did the same thing here. He was able to have that good inside trip, open up a clear lead, but then Sierra Leone from post 2, Mystik Dan from post 3. And I did say that the post positions weren't going to mean anything. This new starting gate, it's much different than that auxiliary gate that they used to use at Churchill. And this gate, there's plenty of space for the inside horses to be able to not get squeezed back like they used to when the auxiliary gate that they used. And then the one horse had to always come out in that gate. And that's not the case anymore. There's plenty of room now. Post position doesn't mean as much as it used to. And for Sierra Leone, he was able to work out a decent closing trip, but he did have some trouble. He had to check, and then he had to race wide. And that was the difference, because if you follow any of the performance ratings that take into account ground lost in this race, Sierra Leone clearly is going to earn a better performance rating, most likely from the sheets. If you use that, you're going to know that Sierra Leone had run a quality race. He's probably going to have the lowest number. And that was for ground loss because Mystik Dan was saving all of the ground here. Excellent effort from Sierra Leone. He was lugging it in the stretch. That's what he does. I don't know what is causing that, but that probably cost him the win, along with racing wide. And then Forever Young, excellent effort, his first career loss. So Sierra Leone's only lost twice, and he lost by a nose twice, and Forever Young only lost once. And that was by 2 noses in this race. And then right behind them, Catching Freedom, and then T.O. Password, the other Japanese horse. So the Japanese horses were ready to go here, finishing 3rd and 5th, but they couldn't overcome Ken McPeak, hot trainer, had his horses in peak condition and ready to run big races this weekend. So hats off to Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez Jr., and all of the connections associated with Mystik Dan, and then Torpedo Anna yesterday. Sierra Leone ran Too Good to Lose as my top choice, but he just couldn't quite get the job done here. And then Forever Young, another quality effort there. So now moving forward, Mystik Dan most likely is going to be going to the Preakness Stakes. If I had to guess, I would say Sierra Leone, since Chad Brown is based in New York, can't win the Triple Crown. No reason to come back in 2 weeks. They might as well have a fresh horse for the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga at 1.25 miles in June. Not sure what they're going to do with Forever Young, but he's obviously a quality horse. And maybe they do something like they did with Derma Sotagake last year, where they rested him, brought him back in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he ran second. So maybe Forever Young goes back to Japan. Maybe he comes back for the Breeders' Cup Classic. We'll have to see what they end up doing with him. So here's going to be my 3 main takeaways from this, and then also 3 things that I expect to happen. So these are going to be my 3 predictions. Number 1, I think we're going to have 3 different winners in the Triple Crown Series races this year. Nothing against Mystik Dan, but we have some fresher, dangerous horses in the Preakness Stakes, and lately horses that skipped the Kentucky Derby have been winning the Preakness. And we have one big name that I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes. So I think there's going to be 3 different winners in Triple Crown Series races this year. The second prediction that I'm going to make is that Muth, for trainer Bob Baffert, is going to be the favorite in the Preakness Stakes. Now, Muth defeated Mystik Dan by 6 1/4 lengths in the Arkansas Derby last time out. But because of Bob Baffert's ongoing Kentucky Derby ban, he was not eligible to run in the Derby. So they've been targeting the Preakness Stakes for him. He hasn't run since March 30th, so he's going to be much fresher than Mystik Dan coming into this race. Also, Muth on May 4th Kentucky Derby Day, he had a 6 furlong bullet at Santa Anita in 1:11 and change. So Bob Baffert is really turning the screws and getting this horse ready to run in the Preakness. I think Bob Baffert's won the Preakness like 8 times, including National Treasure, my top choice last year. My second prediction is that Muth is going to be a favorite in the Preakness Stakes, and I think at this early stage, I'm going to predict that he's going to win the Preakness Stakes. Now, my third prediction is going to be, as I said, that I think that Sierra Leone is going to skip the Preakness Stakes. They're going to point to the Belmont Stakes, and then I think he's going to win the Belmont Stakes. So those are going to be my predictions here. I predicted that Sierra Leone was going to win the Derby, missed that one by a nose. So my second prediction, and this is an early thoughts, obviously, we don't know the field or anything. I can change my mind. But I think that Muth is going to win the Preakness Stakes, and then I think that Sierra Leone is going to be fresh, and then he's going to win the Belmont Stakes. We'll have to see how all of these predictions play out, and keep watching all of my videos on my YouTube channel for the Preakness Stakes. That's my hometown race. I've hit that race a bunch of times, and hopefully I can have another winner in the 2024 Preakness Stakes. Now, I had excellent full cards for Kentucky Oaks Day, 5 top choice winners there, a bunch of other winning tickets, pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s. For Kentucky Derby Day, another big day with 5 top choice winners, a bunch of doubles, pick 3s, a couple pick 4s as well. So very big results on my Oaks and Derby Day full cards. I wasn't able to connect in the Oaks, and then in the Derby I missed by a nose. Let's see if I can bounce back and have the Preakness Stakes and the Belmont Stakes. And I've been on a roll on the Preakness Stakes lately, and I'm going to do Black Eyed Susan Day full card this year as well, the day before the Preakness. And then for Belmont Stakes week, I'm going to cover all 4 live cards at Saratoga for the 4-day Belmont Stakes Festival in June. So go over to my website, therunawayhorse.com, for more details. I'm going to be having videos and articles at todaysracingdigest.com for the Preakness Stakes. And keep checking my stuff for all this Triple Crown coverage. And one more thing, I have a new Best Bets blog at my website, therunawayhorse.com. Every day I post a free play. So if you want a free horse racing play every day, go over to therunawayhorse.com, and at the top you're going to see a Better Bets tab. That's the name of the blog, the Better Bets blog that I do every day, giving out a free play. And I gave out Vava and the Exacta today in the Derby City Distaff on Kentucky Derby Day. So I had a winner there, had a bunch of winners in April, and let's see if I can keep bringing those free pick winners home. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.